So, hello, hi, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are joining from. Myself, Harshit, I'm from Data Couch, and I'm thrilled to welcome you all today in this session, a pragmatic introduction to Snowflake. So, in today's fast moving, data driven world, where speed, scalability, adaptability are not the options, they are mission critical things. Traditional warehouses are often fall short. And in support, the demands of AI, the real time analytics, multi cloud environments, these are getting increased. So that is where Snowflake steps in, a modern, powerful, cloud native data platform that is redefining how organizations manages and use data. Whether you are a data engineer, analyst, data scientist, BI analyst, or a leader who is actually trying to modernize the data stack, you are in the right place. So in the next 60 minutes, we are going to get through the Snowflake in more than just another data warehouse. We'll understand the foundation of Snowflake, that is intelligence, scalability, and we would be understanding how Snowflake is future ready, a tool which is available to us. So talking about myself, so I am Snow Pro Associate Certified Professional. I am also Databricks, Azure, Confluent certified professional as well. Currently working as a capacity of senior technical consultant at Data Couch. Other than that, I do deliver a lot of corporate training sessions. So it's like I have mentored more than 1,500 professionals globally within the data engineering, data science, generative AI, agentic AI fields. So my like key strengths are around designing scalable data solutions, applying data science methodologies, and leveraging generative AI to basically drive the innovation that we want. So that is a high level brief about me. So now talking about Data Couch. So Data Couch is the global leaders in the bespoke professional services, training, and enablement. We specialize in areas like agentic AI, generative AI, data engineering, data science, analytics, cloud, blockchain, cybersecurity, agile, DevOps, and many, many more Web 3.0 technologies. So our work spans from consulting and implementing complex enterprise solutions to personalized coaching, skill programs, and enablement services for tech leaders as well. So, if I talk about some statistics, in the past 9 years, our world class delivery model has enabled us to build a truly global footprint, transforming careers over 200,000 professionals globally. So, this vibrant learning community continues to fuel our expertise across cutting edge technologies, which is allowing us to push the boundaries of innovation every day. Okay, so we are having more than 500 plus expert practitioners, consultants, instructors, and lot more, which actually help us to implement and make the things accessible to industry giants or leaders like Confluent, Snowflake, Alibaba, Neo4j, Google, AWS, Microsoft, and many, many other Fortune 500 companies. So here is the glimpse about our footprint. So this is to show you where we have the footprints across the globe, across the 500 plus Fortune 500 plus companies. And if I talk about the meetups groups at Data Couch, we believe in the power of community to drive innovation and learning. So today we are proud to host and nurture five vibrant user groups, all things data, Snowflake AI data, cloud user group, generative AI user group, generative AI tech community, Gulf Mind, AI Minds. So all these together are having more than 50,000 professionals uh, across these, or 43,000 plus global meetup members are there. We have hosted 300 plus meetup sessions and 100 plus technologies covered within these five different meetup groups. So if you are interested in keeping advanced, keeping yourself up to date within the technology space, then I would request you and your associates as well to join these meetup groups, because this is where we are actually putting a lot of information. So these are some of our key global partners and accreditations that we are having over the years. And then Yes, so we are the only company in the globe who has been selected as the Global Education Partner of the Year for the 3 years straight for Confluent. So it's like for 2022, 23, and 24, we selected as the Global Education Partner. We are the only company to receive this accredit. So that is a brief introduction, very, very quick one to the data couch. And with this, I would now move to the session that we are having with us. So we are going to get start with the Snowflake. But before we even start with the Snowflake, I am having one case study. So generally, if you get into any session, you get to see, hey, there are some standard set of slides. But our topic is not an introduction to Snowflake. It is a pragmatic introduction to Snowflake. So all of what we are going to do today is all about pragmatic options. So it's like uh, we are going to look into the all practical scenarios. So for that, let's create a scenario, let's create a situation in front of us which will lead us to the implementation of Snowflake, and which will let us know why to choose Snowflake, what are the key features of Snowflake, how does Snowflake is better than other options which are available, and what are the different features. So we would not only be just looking at the standard SQL queries, but I would be sharing some pragmatic implementations, how a professional end-to-end project should be set up on the Snowflake. And then towards the last of the session, if we get some time, then we'd be looking some examples, or we would be creating an agentic or a chatbot agent, which is basically going to take up the queries from you, or you can just type within English, plain English, and you can get the queries executed on your Snowflake, and you will start getting the results. So we'll create such kind of agent using the Snowflake on the top of the data set that you are having with us. So we would be doing all this all pragmatic. But for that, let's just set up a scenario in front of us. So let's say there is a company named as Shop EZ. So there is a company name as Shop EZ. So let's say this company is omni-channel retail. This is a retail company we are having with us, having online plus 120 brick and mortar stores across North America. So it's a very huge company. And let's say to set a context how huge, let's say having $350 million annual revenue is there. And currently they are using the stack, like they are having the RDBMS, they are having the clickstream analytics clickstream they are using, let's say, the Databricks. If they are using the Databricks, then for the AI/ML implementation they are using the ML flow within the Databricks. And then they are using any of the Power BI tool, for instance, let's say the Power BI. So this is the current stack that they are using with themselves, working on the data set that they are having. So generally, the retail companies would be having data sets like customers' data, and then they would be having some data related to the logs, maybe the click stream, website data which is coming in, any updates which is happening within the user profiles, or orders, or the line items. So there are a lot of data. To simulate this scenario within the Snowflake, we are going to use a sample data set. So within a Snowflake, we are having a sample data set, which is TPCH TPCH data set we are going to use, and it is going to have within this particularly, we are going to use three major tables. We are going to use the orders, we are going to use the line items, we are going to use the customers. So as of now, let's just understand we are having these three details with us, and the company is Shop EZ, which is online channel retail, and their annual revenue is $350 million. So it's a very big company, and this is their current stack looks like. Okay. Um, Now within this current stack, what is happening is they are facing a lot of issues. Or how does this current stack look like with respect to Shop EZ? So they are having the website data, they are having POS machines, point on sales machines. Now there could be multiple machines across the stores. Since we have said, like 120 plus stores are there, 120 plus stores are there. So there would be a lot of POS machines available within those stores, and then social media data and all of that is there. Now, all of this data is getting accumulated, can it get accumulate at various places. Either you can use the blob stores or maybe the data lakes, from where like you are just making the data get stored. So like customer data or the click stream data is coming from the website, while the customer data is a batch data. Click stream data would be the real time data we are having with us. Real time data we are having with us. So a lot of click stream and real time data is there with us, and we are keeping that data into either the blob stores or the data lakes. Now from there, data is moving to RDBMS, to Databricks, MLflow, Power BI, and then we are having multiple roles available within the organization: BI engineers, data engineers, data scientists. So this is somewhat scenario is there, and all of these three different roles want to utilize this architecture, this data, to get the things done. Now BI engineers would definitely be like to create some dashboards, but data engineers would like to set up the data engineering pipeline. Data scientists should be creating some AI ML based models. So everyone wants to do their job, their part of work that they have been assigned on. So this is the current scenario that we are having with us. And with this current scenario, can anybody share me what could be the possible issues we might be facing? Maybe you can write it down in chat if anybody would like to unmute themselves. Maybe you can unmute as well. So what kind of issues we may be facing with this kind of legacy architecture that we are having? Any thoughts? Yes, absolutely. So there would be some slow uh, siloed reporting. Yes, they would be like that because analyst faces long wait for nightly dumps, and inconsistent metric across the systems could be there. Then there is one comment. Okay. With transforming data processing, yes, Scaling issue would be there. Scaling issues would be there. Then yes, latency would be there. A lot of latency would be there. Poor data quality. Yes, poor data quality. Yes, that would be there. Debugging any failures would be very tough. Yes, since we are having a lot of data sources and this particular architecture, which is tightly coupled, there would be a lot of issues with respect to debugging, lack of real-time processing. Yeah, could be, yes. Or maybe real-time updates. The data governance issue. Yes, data governance issue. Data governance. Absolutely. There could be data inconsistencies, lack of real, inflexible data models, visualizations would be issue. Yep, absolutely correct. Maybe now think of the scenario where a new person is just joining in, and the person has just accidentally deleted. No easy dev test clones. Recovery could take hours. So this is kind of, very common scenario in terms of, like running delete commands, and having privileges on the whole data set that we are having with us. So accidental deletes. Maybe let's say we want to implement a quick Gen AI scenario here. Quick Gen AI scenario, or is not possible. Now, first of all, your data needs, and the data is getting on, like nightly dump is there. So it would be very late by the time we get the latest information with us, to get the data. So a lot of issues are there with this current system. And all of these issues would then be solved by the Snowflake, would then be solved by the Snowflake. So when we talk about Snowflake, it is single unified platform which can handle structure, semi-structure, unstructured, all kind of data that we are having with us. So nowadays, with the Cortex AI, you can actually upload your unstructured data, maybe the documents, the images, and then create some queries around it as well. So earlier, with the earlier versions of Snowflake, it was limited to the structured and the semi-structured. But with the latest versions of the Snowflake platform that we are having with us, the unstructured data is not a limit as well now. Okay, so now you can deal with the unstructured data as well. So I'll write it as a single unified platform. Single unified platform. It's single unified platform. Now it provides us various features like time travel, zero copy cloning, built-in governance, AI integration, operation tooling, Snowpark, user-defined functions, separation of storage and compute. So like separate storage and compute. So when I'm saying there is a separate storage and compute, by this we means we can run multiple warehouses concurrently. So it's like, now suppose I am having different roles available: BI engineers, data scientists. Now each of this role would be requiring a different set of resources with them. So like for the data engineers, they might be requiring the resources for the ETL jobs, which could be higher. But for the BI engineers, we would be requiring it for the visualization. So it would not require so much higher end resources as compared to the data engineers. But then comes the ML engineers. So for ML engineers, for the creating the models, it would require a lot more resources, even more than that of as compared to the data engineers. So each role within the company would require a different set of resources with them. Snowflake, because of its separate storage and compute capability, you can create multiple resources suitable or warehouses suitable for various workloads that you are having with you. And then you can actually separate out each role, each working, each jobs that you are having with you. So just to look at it, let's just not cover it in the theoretical part. Let's just look at some hands on. So how actually we can do it within the Snowflake. So for that, what you can do, first of all, you need to be having the Snowflake account. If you're not having the Snowflake account, you can go to snowflake.com, start for free. You can click on that, fill up the details, and you will get the $300 credit, $400 or $300 credit. Yeah, 400 for next 30 days. So you will get 400 worth of credits for next 30 days. So you can trial and test with the Snowflake. So once that is done, you would be at this screen. So this is the home page of the Snowflake where we would be start working in. So here on the left hand side, if you see, we are having a lot of things. We can create the workbooks, the notebooks, Streamlit, dashboards, app packages, templates, workspaces. So a lot of things we can create nowadays within the Snowflake. It is not limited only to the standard, SQL or SQL worksheets only. You can create the notebooks. If you are more familiar with the Jupyter environment, then you can create the notebooks and can work upon it as well. But you can also create the Streamlit applications on the top of the Snowflake. Dashboards, you can create the dashboard separately. So now you need not to move somewhere else unless or until that is something is the urgent or that is the organization's priority. You can do it everything within the Snowflake itself, from storing to processing to analysis to visualization to AI/ML implementation. So that is why we are saying it is a unified platform we are having with us. So I would be quickly creating a worksheet. So I would be quickly creating a worksheet for me. So in this worksheet, what we can do, we can run the standard SQL queries. So it is like working with the standard SQL queries that we are having with us. And for within the Snowflake, we need to create the warehouses. So first of all, what we are having within the Snowflake is we are having the warehouses. Now we are having warehouses. Now within warehouses, we can select the warehouses that we are having with us, and then we can have the within that warehouse, you can have the you can use different databases, and each database can have different schemas in it. So we are having databases. We are having databases. Each database is going to have schema, and then schema is going to have the tables or the views, whatsoever we are going to have. So first of all, let's just create a warehouse, and in that warehouse we can then create the schemas or the databases that we want to work with. So here I am having the commands with me. Let me just increase the size. So I hope the text is visible to all. Okay, so this is the command that I am having with me. Let me just remove this first of all. So this command is going to actually create the warehouse. So we are having create warehouse. This is the name of the warehouse. It could be anything. Now we can define the warehouse size. So here we are having the multiple sizes. So when we are creating the warehouse, we are having multiple sizes. Like here on this, we can have the multiple sizes. Sizes like, let's say, the extra small, small, or large. So we can have a lot of sizes with us available. So it's like we have like, extra small, small, large, or maybe like medium, large, XL, double XL. So with each of the size of the warehouse, the compute and the storage is going to get increased. Bigger the size, more you are spending on the compute and storage part. Okay. So we can select the size of the warehouse, and with each size, as a best practice, we suggest to add the auto suspend option. So generally what happens is once you have provisioned your resources or clusters, they are keep on getting running even if like you are not running any queries. So that is actually going to incur a cost to you. So to save on that cost, we suggest auto suspend. So this will auto suspend your resources when they are in not use. Okay. And then later on you can once you would be running any queries, the compute can easily, or the warehouses can easily be restored, or started again or resume again, and then you can start further. So this is the query that we are having. So let's just do one thing for this scenario. We will be creating two different warehouses. So one warehouse is for the ETL job, one warehouse is for the analytics part. So ETL, we would be requiring the extra small, but for the analytics, we would be requiring a medium size warehouse. So as per now your requirement, you can differentiate between the warehouses. So it could be like ETL, analytics, ML. Now for ML, let's say I would be requiring double XL. So you can be like, okay, extra XX large. Okay. So it could be like that. So let me just run these queries, and this would be able to create the warehouses for me. So this would be creating the warehouses for me. Now we can simply start using the warehouse. We can start simply using the warehouse, and from that warehouse. So if you see, I am having some sample data here with me. So this sample data is there. Now within that we are having TPCHSF1, and we are going to use this. It is going to have a lot of tables, but we are going to use three: customer, line, and orders. These three things. So what is this Snowflake? What is this Snowflake sample data? This is the database that we are having. Sorry, this is the particular public data is available to us. Now in that public data, we are having TPCH, and TPCH database is there, and in that we are having the tables, customers tables is there, or maybe other different tables like line item is there. Okay. And then we are having the orders data is there. So what we are doing, we are saying, hey, I want to work with the ETL workload. So ETL workload is having extra small resources with it. And in that particular resource, then we are saying, hey, from this sample data, TPCH SF1, from the line item, we need to count how many data points are there where extended price is greater than this. Okay. So then you can run your queries. You can select this and run your queries, and you would be able to get to know, like, okay, what is the count. So it's very simple, very similar to how you run the SQL queries within your spaces. Okay. Standard SQL queries are there. So taking a quick break here, like 10 seconds break. If anybody is having any questions or doubts, please do let me know about that. We just started with Snowflake. What is Snowflake? Why to use it? We're just now exploring Snowflake, how we can create the multiple warehouses. Does data warehouse storage contains storage or only compute resources? Okay, okay. Let's see that. Okay. Um, so let me just explain it like Let me pull out this architecture, Snowflake architecture. Um, just bring this architecture because that will make much more sense here. So, yep, yep. I'm just getting this architecture. Okay. So this is how the things are going to look like within the Snowflake. Uh, so here what we are having on the base, we are going to have the storage layer. So this is where the storage is going to be available. Now each storage can be of different size, and then we are going to have the query processing units. So it's like based on the size, you are working on the different warehouses. Okay. Now you are creating your different warehouses. So as per the warehouse that you are going to select, there is going to be a separate processing space and separate storage space. So when we are selecting the warehouse, we are selecting both the things, the processing power and the database storage as well. So it's like if my warehouse is XS, extra small, then I'm having a small storage and small processing capability. But if my warehouse is double XL or maybe bigger than that, then my size of storage and the compute is also high. But these two things are different, they are not together. So earlier, within the previous tools, technologies which are there, both of them were like coupled together, which was causing the problem. But here that coupling is not there, coupling of processing and the storage. So that is what creating an additional power to the Snowflake architecture, which is letting us create multiple workloads, multiple scenarios. So that is why we are now able to keep up with the like creating multiple workloads while dealing with the different sizes, working with different sizes. So that is what we are having. uh on cost, how Snowflake is better than other competitor. Yes, like there are multiple, like on terms of cost. So there are multiple optimizations when it comes to the Snowflake, which we can implement, and we would be looking forward as we would be moving further, we would be looking into that. That will actually help you to analyze how Snowflake is better in terms of costing. How can we connect with third party applications in Snowflake? So you get the multiple options. You get the options either through the API connect, or you can even we have the now Streamlit capabilities as well. So that can be done, which will actually help. But there are multiple things. So even within the Snowflake, you have Snowpark. Over there, you can write down the codes to connect it with the separate applications, and then there are multiple connectors as well, which you can work with. So that is also there. Great. Okay. G Sheets to Snowflake. Uh, Yeah, maybe you can set a pipeline. So what you can do here is your G Sheets, as soon as like change is happening, it should push the data to maybe like let's say the blob, and from the blob you can set up a snow pipe scenario which will pull the data within the Snowflake, and you can have the updated data available. So multiple options are there, but this is just one option that you can explore. Great, great, great. I see. Great. So now similarly, you can change your warehouse. You can just change your warehouse and can run different query as well. So I need not to worry about like there are different warehouses available with me. like the same database table view schemas with us. I can use multiple workloads. I can use different workloads. Like I'm running this select query on the same Snowflake sample data TPCH SF1 customers, orders, line items. So doing the same thing, but with a different warehouse, which is of different size. Now we know that the analytics is of extra large size. So that is why it is going to get me some different results. So we can run this query and can get to see the results. So it'll be, yep, giving me some results here. And then you can click on the chart and you can see the visualization. So now from the data on the right hand side, you get the option to actually, like change the type. You want a line chart, you want a bar chart, you want a heat grid, which may not be possible here, or maybe, okay. So you can select the different types. Then you can have your data sets available with you. You can switch like, okay, customer key, where should be the customer key, where should be the spend, if you want to switch the x's and all that, you want to add some columns here. So you can even quickly do a visualization of your query. How does it is going to get look like, how you are going to visualize it. So this or capability is also there available within the Snowflake, and you can download these results as well. So maybe some of the queries are there which is like uh, creating your subset of data which later on you want to share with somebody. You can simply run a query, you can download the data, the results that you are getting, and then you can share it. So that particular possibility is also there available within the Snowflake. Okay, so now on the top of it, let's say you want to work with specifically the specific database. We can run the queries like use database, and you can run the query like database. You can select the schema, and then you can have your standard queries. So here what we are doing, we are simply checking, okay, revenue by day, how much revenue is there. So we are saying select order date as order date, sum of extended price multiply by, so we are having a formula here, total revenue, to calculate the total revenue from the orders, and we are joining it with the line items as well. So we are getting this data. So I can select this, I can run the query, I can get the results with me, and then we can even visualize the data that we are getting. So you can actually visualize your data. So maybe a scatter plot or a line chart, or maybe a different one, heat grid, which is not possible on this. So you can select different chart types and can work upon it. So it's like that. Okay. So you can do this. Now with Snowflake, the second thing that we discuss is we can even work with the semi-structured data. So what we can do here is we can actually create or work with the uh, data which is semi-structured. So let's say the JSON is one example. So maybe what we can do, we can create a clickstream table. Okay, and let's just add some sample data. So just to simulate, clickstream data. So we are getting some JSON data to us within the databases. So we can get that. We are creating the table, and then we are getting the results here. Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay. So it was, like the public sample data space. So we would not be able to create the tables on the top of it. So that is why we got the error, like, okay, you cannot create the table here. Now this is, like strictly created by the Snowflake, managed by the Snowflake. So we would not be able to create our data like click stream or any tables that we are having with us over there. So you can select any different database or any different schema, and then you can work upon it. So for that we can use the simple command like uh, create uh, database, let's say uh, shop ez. Okay, and then we can have like create schema. Like now even with the schemas you can differentiate, like you can have schemas like raw, curated. So you can actually implement the medallion architecture with the help of the schemas. So it's like, now suppose you are having the stages here. So you are having the raw stage, you are uh, you are having a raw stage, you are having a curated stage, you are then having the, or maybe like let's say the raw, silver, or gold, or raw, or maybe bronze. So you can actually implement the medallion architecture where your raw data can be at bronze, processed data at silver, and aggregated data at the gold schema. So with the schemas, you'd be able to implement or segregate your tables into the three different categories. Okay, so that would also be possible. So maybe we can say, okay, we want to work with the raw schema that we are having with us. So we can do that. Now within this, we can create the tables and can insert the data. Okay, it will create the table for us, and uh, going to uh, push the data into it. Okay, so that is something is possible. So that is something we can do with it. Okay, now with this the JSON data that we are having with us, we can actually read this data in very easy way. We can work with it very easily. But now suppose the scenario comes in, since like this particular organization, store or the shop ez, is working on the real time data. What if there is a case, where they want to have a multi-cluster warehouse? They're not very sure with what size of warehouse is required, or what size of compute is required. We are not sure about that. Maybe initially we required small, but over a period of time we would require a huge warehouse. So what is the case in that? So for that, actually, you can create a multi-cluster warehouse. We can create a multi-cluster warehouse. So let me just share this. So there is a query within the within Snowflake in which we can actually create the multi-cluster warehouse. So multi-cluster warehouse, with that what we mean. So it's very similar command like create warehouse, then the warehouse name. Then you can define, hey, what should be the size of your warehouse? Large. Now within this large warehouse, what is the minimum cluster count? One or one. Then maximum cluster count, four. And then we are saying, okay, scaling policy. We are saying scaling policy. So what is this scaling policy? So when we talk about the scaling policy, we are having different scaling policy like standard, or let's say the economy. Okay, within the Snowflake we are having different uh, uh, scaling policies. So when we talk about the standard one, now this is a default policy. By default you are going to have the standard policy. So here the Snowflake will add clusters proactively. So whenever it is going to detect, the concurrency has increased, it is going to proactively add the clusters so that it can minimize the query queuing. So like concurrency is increased, multiple users are using it, so it'll increase the clusters for you. So from 1 to 4, this is minimum value, maximum value. It will add more resources to your cluster. So it's more responsive, but it can use more compute credits. So it's more responsive, okay, and may use more compute. Okay. So example use cases for standard could be, dashboards where unpredicted spikes could be there, or environments where user experience is very critical. Low latency experience it should be there. So in those cases, standard policy would work fine. But then we have the economy where, we try to minimize the number of clusters we spin up. The goal here is only spin up new cluster when really necessary. So with the economy, it's the use case is cost saving over performance. So like suppose let's say we are having batch ETL jobs, short delays are acceptable. Environments where predictable loads are going to be there. So over there you can save at a priority. So economy can be used in that case. So where cost saving is the case. So now here what we are doing, we are actually like editing or making changes into the amount of clusters needs or the computes required behind the scenes within the cluster. So you are actually editing it. You are making changes into it. So you can decide upon that. Okay. So that is very much possible here within the Snowflake. So over here, once you have decided scaling policy, maximum cluster count, minimum cluster count, then you can have like auto suspend, how much time after it should get auto suspend. So this is what is going to create me a multi-cluster warehouse. Multi-cluster warehouse. Okay. And at any point of time, you can run a command like, hey, I want to alter this. I have created previously, like ETL warehouse. Now I want to, update that warehouse. So I need to alter my warehouse. You can simply say alter warehouse, multi-cloud analytics, MCW analytics is there. And then whatsoever, you can simply say set. So after that you can change everything, like you can make changes into like, hey, I want it to be Excel by default as a started one. So in that Excel cluster there should be one machine minimum and four machines maximum. So like that. So you can make changes into it as well once you have created your warehouse. So it's not like like every time you need to create a new warehouse with you. So that is not there. So that is actually going to help you out. That is actually going to help you out in that. So this is there, with which you can actually keep up on the load increase and decrease. So a quick 10 minutes break here, 10 seconds break here. Any questions, any doubts before we move further? Great, nice. Okay. So in that case, let's move further. Now, when we are working with the Snowflake, you can actually, create your data sets in a way that it runs the not only just create the tables, but you can have the streams as well within the Snowflake. So like we create the tables, create or replace tables, raw orders. So we are creating this table. First of all, let's just create this raw table. We can create this table, and then we can create the stream. So what is this stream, how it is different from the table? So let's just look into that. And what would be the use case of the stream? Let's look into that. Okay. So now let's just understand this. What is this stream and a table here? So when I'm saying, like table, so table is a very static set of data that is available within the Snowflake. But then we are having the stream. We are having the stream. It's a permanent object. Like table is a permanent object in Snowflake that stores the data. We know about that. But what is the stream? Basically, with the stream, we can change tracking objects. So it can actually change the tracking objects. So it can actually capture the data change. So it can create on the top of table or view. It will be capturing the changes happening into that table, and then would pushing that or data, updated data further. So like right now there was one scenario which was saying, okay, I am having like Excel sheets locally, and those Excel sheets, how I can capture the change or work with like keep up with the real time changes which are happening. So maybe like there is this Excel sheet. You're pushing every time a new Excel sheet is generated, you're pushing that data into the blob, and from the blob you are actually using the snow pipes to read the data. Snow pipes to read the data, and then you are updating the raw table. So let's say you are updating the raw table. So this is the thing. Now on this raw table you can create a stream which will capture the changes happening, and it will then push that data, let's say, into the silver table. So now we are having the data, the like processed data within the silver schema. So now this was the raw one. Now on the raw, we are capturing those changes and pushing that particular updated information into the silver table. So this is what is possible with streams. So let's just look into that. So what we are saying, okay, create or replace stream raw orders stream on table raw orders. So once we are having this table or view, we can create this stream on the top of that. And this is actually going to capture the changes happening within this raw orders. Could be insert, delete, update, anything, and that would be streamed into this particular new stream that we are creating, raw order stream. So we are just saying, okay, append only false. So we are saying, do we make it append only, or how we want streams to be available or working with us. So you can set these configurations, and later on what you can do, what the data that we are getting here, we can merge that data. So it's like we can create a task here. Basically we can create a task here. So maybe I'll just share a quick code. So what we can do here, okay, I guess. So what we can do here is we can have the uh we can create a task then. So once we have created these streams, once we have created these streams, so we can simply create a task, like create or replace task, ETL task. We want to use ETL warehouse. Now you can define, hey, what warehouse you want to use, and then you can define your task. So now Snowflake is giving you the capability not only to create or capture the changes happening into table within seconds by just creating these streams on the top of your data. Otherwise, you need to set up the different CDC models to capture the change, to look at the changes which are happening and then updating them. But here, what you are doing with a simple create stream command, you are creating that particular, you're capturing that change, and then using the task, you are actually merging the data, and then you can run the merge data command, and you can store the data into the raw orders, like selecting all the data from the raw orders, and you are putting it into updating it into the tables that you're having with you. So you are capturing all that data. with the ETL task. And here you can decide, okay, how frequently this task should be running for you. So you can run it as a cron job for you, where you are actually capturing the changes which are happening from the stream, and then you are working further. So it's like once the task is created, you can even set it as resume. So that is something is possible. So we have created the task for us, and then we have created we have even resumed the task. Uh, okay, I see a few questions here in the chat. Between AWS spreadsheet and Snowflake. Okay. All these Snowflake warehouses I'm creating, I need to keep it always, or once its purpose is solved, then I can remove it. Okay. During multi-cluster warehouse, always increase cost. Does or can it be optimized with auto suspend, auto resume? Okay. And also how we monitor the cost control and the traffic is okay. Great, nice. So with respect to looking at, like keeping up with the warehouses, yes, whenever you are requiring the warehouses, you can keep those warehouses. Otherwise, you can set those warehouses at auto suspend. So they would be suspended if not in use, and if like that particular warehouse is not serving you anymore, you can even delete it as well. That is not going to like affect your the database that you have created on the Snowflake. So it's more like resources that you are releasing with you from you. That is there. How you can optimize the multi-cluster warehouses? In that case, yes, absolutely. Auto suspend, auto resume is going to help a lot. And you can decide upon the scaling policies as well. So each scaling policy is going to provide you the different set of options with you. Like with the economy, you can get the better results, but with the with the economy, you can save more if cost saving is the criteria. But if you're low latency is the use case, so it's always a trade-off. Either you can go for the low latency use case, or you can get into the cost saving use case. So you need to select here. If cost saving is the cause, then economy is the best. But if you want low latency to your application, then standard is recommended always. How you can monitor? So on with respect to the monitoring, coming to that, let's get to the monitoring. So with monitoring, actually we can monitor the resources. So what you can do here is, what we can do here is on the resources that we have created, or on the services that we have created, we can actually create a resource monitor. So you can assign a particular quota to your resources. Okay. So you can set a quota on the top of it, and once that quota is like created, and then on that quota you can set a monitor. So let's say you have said, okay, credit quota for my particular use case is 2000 credits, and if 80% of those credits have been utilized, then trigger an alert to me. So either this is one option we are having with us, or it also gives us the option, Snowflake also gives us the option to actually monitor the services or monitor the resources, the queries that we are having with us. You can monitor that. Even you can group your queries, maybe with respect to the different cases. So even that is there. So like individual queries that you have executed, you can monitor these. Okay, if there are multiple users within the organization, then you can definitely get into those different users, or maybe you can have different filters applied as well. So maybe a query tag is there, or a specific query text should be there, or maybe you want to just monitor the high duration queries which is taking more time to run. So you can apply these filters. Basically, you can select these filters, and then accordingly you can have the monitoring on the queries. Does they succeeded or not succeeded? You can even like profile your query as well. Whatever queries you are running, you can actually get into that, and you can profile your queries. So you can look at, okay, what is happening. And you can look at the telemetry as well. So as of now, because this was a very simple query, telemetry is not there, but yes, you can get to see the telemetry as well. So how long did it took, what were the drivers, what were the start time, end time, all that. So all of this would be available to you, so you can actually monitor this. But not only this, but if I show you, uh, with the snowflake with the snowflake, the benefit is you can also, like, add the security and the governance part. So what you can do in the snowflake is you can mask the data. So since, here in this example, we were working with a lot of customer data. So there could be a lot of email IDs, or maybe let's say could be a lot of private data, the PII data, which we may not be wanted into the silver table, or let's say the curated tables that we are having with us. So to a particular like set particular schema, we can implement that particular masking policies. So you can create or replace the masking policy. Let's say on the email, we want to create this. So we named the masking policy as mask email. Similarly, you can have username masking, or could be like CVV masking. If like you are into the financial banking domain, then you could be having a lot of credit card data and all of that. You can mask the pins, or maybe the transactions, or maybe like transaction values, could be like that, or could be the account balances, anything which you may not be want to publicize, or want to make public, even within the organization, to different people as well. So you can actually mask that data without creating the views, hiding the data. So you can simply say, okay, mask the data. You want to return a string in like security admin and data engineering role. Okay. So if the current role is the security admin and the data engineering, then that is fine. You can look at the data. But if you are into a different role, if you are a BI engineer, if you are, let's say, the data scientist, then we are saying, hey, you'd not be able to see the email. You'd be looking at the email like this. So you'd be masking your emails. So you can be very role specific. The security admin and data engineer can look at the data, but not the BI engineers or the other stakeholders involved. So could be like that. And then on a particular table, in a particular schema, you can set this market masking policy. You can set the masking policy. Now that is very much possible. This is also possible. Okay. Taking a deliberate pause here. If any questions or doubts, please do let me know about that. Okay, I see there is a recommended way to monitor query concurrency, and no multi-cluster is actually needed, or scaling up is single query is enough. So with respect to multi-cluster, like if you are working into the production grade environment, then multi-clusters are generally preferred in those cases, because you are not very sure up with the kind of workloads that you would be getting. So if it is a real-time application that you are working on, so let's say the e-commerce application is there, that totally also depends on your use case as well. So e-commerce basically would let you to definitely go into the multi-cluster warehouse. So that will be there required. Okay. Not only this, the masking policies and all that with respect to the security. So governance and security within the Snowflake, you can actually invite the users, create the users. You can create the roles. There are different roles which are available. You can assign these roles, which are there. Okay. So we can assign these roles, and we can be very specific what roles and what responsibilities should be there with each of the users. So that can be created. Now, since like this is I'm not getting into too much details of getting started with Snowflake. So for that, we are actually having, let me go to, uh, yep. So for that, we are actually having one wonderful training with respect to the Snowflake. So we are having Snowflake Snowflake fundamentals. So this instructor-led training is basically going to help you out in getting to know all of these concepts. As of now, I have not even getting started with the various features that is there available within the Snowflake. Due to the time limitation that we are having here, I just need to rush into the various scenarios possible within the Snowflake. But you can actually, do a time travel. You can even do the tagging. You can even do the auditing very, very easily with your data set. So all of those features, the fundamentals of the Snowflake are very well covered within this particular, training. And just to share with you, like there was one organization, I cannot name it, but like they undergo a Snowflake training through the Udemy. We all know, like Snowflake courses and all other things are available on Udemy or other websites very easily, under 500 rupees as well. But here, but once they undergo that, they were not able to optimize the scenarios. They were not able to optimize the Snowflake at all. So they undergo this particular fundamental training, the 4-day training, and after going through this Snowflake training, they saw 40% reduction in cost. So that is what our official training is going to do. So it is actually going to give you the best practices. It is actually going to give you the best cases possible within your Snowflake. What all is possible within your Snowflake? Because those public courses are not going to actually help you out in optimizing your Snowflake. If optimization, learning Snowflake to the core is your use case, then I would highly recommend Snowflake fundamental training. This is actually going to change your life, and it's highly in demand, one of the best sellers within Snowflake. And multiple Fortune 500 companies are looking for professionals who have undergone this training, and they are actually certified professionals, and this course is basically going to help you out in getting like get yourself prepared for the certifications as well. And Snowflake certified professionals are highly in demand in market. If you're having that particular certification, that is actually going to help you out. Okay. If this is not enough, then I have one wonderful use case. Now I'm done with a lot of these SQL queries and all that. But now what I want to do, I want to actually create a chatbot. Let's say I want to create a chatbot. Let me create a new SQL workspace here. Now in that particular SQL workspace, what I am going to do, I am actually going to copy paste code. So what code is this? So what we are doing, so we are saying, okay, account admin role. In that, I am creating sales intelligence table, sales intelligence role. And in that, we are granting the Snowflake Cortex user to this sales intelligence. Okay. So basically what we are creating, we are creating a consumer role, and it is having the permissions to work with the Cortex AI. So we are setting the current user as Cortex AI, having the access to the Cortex AI capability. So now we would be looking at how we can utilize the Cortex AI and how we can work with it. So in this, basically, we are having this particular database, sales intelligence. Sales intelligence is having a schema data, and in that we are assigning this role to both of these database and schema. Okay. Once that is done, what we are doing, we are creating a warehouse, sales intelligence warehouse of small size, auto suspend. Okay. Initially suspend. You can even add the comments. Then we are creating a database. We are having this using this database, and we are creating a table, sales conversation table, sales metric table. Okay. And then we are inserting some values into sales conversation and sales metrics as well. So this script is basically going to set up the environment for me. So I'm just sharing one link. Even if you want to set up this, AI based demo script, I'm sharing that link with you. So you can actually go to this link and can set up the environment for yourselves as well. So that is something is possible. Um, let's just wait for this to complete. uh, so what we would be doing, we would be creating a chatbot now. Okay. So once this is executed, now we would be looking at the catalog here. Okay, this is done. So I'll go to the catalog. Okay. Now within the catalog, if I refresh this, I am having the Snowflake. I am having the sales intelligence. Now within this sales intelligence, I am having data. Within the data, we are having the table, Snowflake conversation, and the matrices. Okay. So within the stages, we have the models. Now here we are going to create a model. What model we are going to create? Let's look into that. So I am uploading one YAML file here. Uh, within this, I am uploading a YAML file. Okay, great. So what is this YAML file that I am having with me? So it is having the details about my data set. So with this, we are actually going to be able to say, okay, what is the table that we are having? What is the description? What all tables are there? What all data is there? So whatsoever queries you would be making, it would be able to understand, okay, what all tables are there? What is the structure? What is the dimension? What all kind of data is there available within these tables? So we are creating this YAML file, and we are passing this YAML file here in the model. Now, this particular file will be utilized to create the agent for us. Create the agent for us. So now we would be creating the agent. For that, I would be going to the agents within the Snowflake. We are having the option agents. I will go to that. Now in this agents would be simply be able to create the agents very quickly. Like create agent, you can name your agent, you display name whatsoever you want. So you can be able to quickly create your agents within the Snowflake. That's it. So we created the agent. Okay. Now we can get into this agent and make some changes into it, like what all we want to do within this agent. So you can actually make those changes. Okay. So we can actually make those changes here possible within the agent. Now you can edit this. You can say, hey, I want this agent to act differently. So we can give the instructions to the agent, like we create the AI agents. Like here we are creating an agent here. So what we are saying, you are a specialized analytics assistant focused on provide concise responses about sales metrics and sales conversation. So we are giving a very detailed instruction what this agent is all about, and what they need to do, how they need to do. So that is what we have described here. So for the agents that you are having with you, you can provide all of these details, and then you'd be able to define the working. And even you can define a time limit. Let's say the 30-second time limit should be there, or any other time limit should be there. Okay. So you can even set the time limits in that case. Or also, while we are editing this agent, we can even set some initial questions. Like in chat GPT, we get to see how can I help you. So we can add these questions here. Once we are done with all the editings or with the agent, we can save the changes. But before that, what I will do, within this agent, I am going to add an analyst. So which is actually going to analyze my data and give me the results. So here, what I am saying, I want a semantic model. Semantic model on what? Sales intelligence data. This is my semantic model is going to be, and this is where our YAML file is going to be get selected. Okay, so we are going to actually work with this YAML file. We uploaded the YAML file previously, and now we are selecting that YAML file. So let's name this. Let's name this semantic model, and then we are having description here. Let's say this is the demo, and then the warehouse is something by default. We are selecting, and we are saying yes. So we created an analyst behind the scene, which is actually going to analyze our model. Okay, so that is there. And then we can create some search services just in case, like since, a lot of data is there within the conversation, we want to search. So you can create a search facility within your tables as well. Like, okay, on my tables, search about the data. So earlier we created the analyst who would be analyzing my data, but then we are creating the search capability as well. So we are selecting the sales data, and then we are saying, okay, the sales conversation search. Okay, so that is something we are doing. Now for the column ID, we can pick like, okay, conversation ID, and the title column we can say, how about transcript text. So within the tables that we created, within the table that we created, within the sales conversation, so over there we are having the conversation ID as a primary key. So that is what ID column is, and title where our text is there. So that is what we are going to target. Okay, so let's name this, let's say, how about transcript, or let's say, let's name it um let's name it anything, demo. Okay, so this is also created. Okay, this is also created, or maybe um this is fine. Great. So once all of this is done, we can save the model. We can say, hey, save all these changes that are there. Okay, and we can even add some monitoring or orchestration services as well here. Like, to the orchestration, we can add the prompt like, hey, if something is happening, then how should you should orchestrate the data and orchestrate the things. So it's very easy within the Snowflake to create the AI models or AI agents for you. So it's just like prompting that you are doing and adding some prompts here, and making sure the things are working for you. So once this is created, now you need to create a role which is having access to this. So here you can go, hey, add role. You from the role, you want to add, let's say, the sales intelligence RL that we created, which was having access to the Cortex model. So we provided a role to this agent, a provided role to agent, which is having access to the Cortex AI, which is using the LLMs behind the scenes for you. Okay, so by this we created the agent. That's it. We created the agent. Now we can simply go to the Snowflake intelligence and can look at the chatbot that we have created. So we can look at the chatbot that we have created here. Now next not now. So here we can ask the questions that we want to ask. So let's say we ask the question like, um, tell me about the call with secure bank, or maybe any other questions like, how many deals did particular person has done. So it'll start looking at the data that we provided, the tables that we provided, and going to use the Cortex AI behind the scenes, and you created your own chatbot just on the Snowflake. So like maybe another query could be like, how many deals did Sarah Johnson win compared to deals she lost? So it is now going to analyze your data first. How many deals won, how many deals lost, then what is the percentage? This is actually going to analyze your data. So behind the scenes, it is going to use the analyst which is there and going to help you out. So it is going to like do all of that on your data. Now you need not to, invoke any other third-party tools and services to, and share your data over there, and then, create some chat bots on the top of it. You can directly do it through the Snowflake. So the RAG-based chatbots or the generative AI-based chatbots is very much possible. Now you can do the same thing with your documents. You can upload your documents to the Snowflake and can create the bots on the front or agents on the top of it. So that is also is possible. And if you are interested in getting to know more about how does this generative AI thing work, so we have the training generative AI Snowflake generative AI training, which is actually focused on how you can use the generative AI on the Snowflake. So this is just a one way I have showed, created an SQL agent which will analyze your data and get the results for you. But this is just a starting point. We are having a lot more capabilities within the Snowflake available that you can do here. So this particular training will help you in knowing how generative AI can be implemented within the Snowflake. Okay, so that is also there. So good thing about this is we Data Couch are the authorized training resellers for the Snowflake. We are the very first ones to get that in the APAC region. So if you are having any training request or something like that, we are having the exclusive pricing within this APAC region. So if you look at the various trainings, then like the fundamental one, it is generally going to cost somewhere around $3,000 if you go through the website and book a training for yourself. But if you do it through Data Couch, the authorized training resellers, you will get some exclusive pricing, and it will be somewhere around $1,275. So it can be further optimized if a group of people can join or register for the training. So that is something is possible. Okay, so my teammates have shared the email address. If you're having any training requirements, then you can share your queries at that email. And if anybody is having any questions or doubts, please do let me know about that. Okay, seems like all questions are done. Let me just look in previously if any question is there. Okay, I guess we covered all of that. So my team has shared the feedback form in the chat. Please do fill that feedback form. This was a quick glimpse around. I can totally understand if you are very new to the Snowflake, then it would be coming like an alien language to you. But believe me, this was just getting started with Snowflake, and that too pragmatically. There is a lot more. If you're interested, you can book the training, fundamental training, and it is going to benefit you a lot. And if you're having any questions or doubts, please do let me know about that. You want some special pricing around the various Snowflake trainings, you can contact us at hello@datacouch.io. You can definitely get some exclusive pricing here in the APAC region through us. So that is it from my side. Thank you so much, everyone. If you are having any questions, doubts, please do let me know. SQL programming knowledge is mandatory. Yes, yes, definitely. So the SQL is the base. So that is what is mandatory, or that you should be knowing by default. Only then the Snowflake would make much more sense. Nowadays we are getting a lot of coding interfaces as well, like within the Snowflake. We can simply go here and create a notebook. Like I can say I can create a Python worksheet, or I can also simply create a notebook as well, IPYNB notebook. So even that is something is possible. So a notebook, a new notebook. So you can create a new notebook. So run on a warehouse or run on a container, you want AIML workspaces to be available, or a normal workspace to be available. So accordingly, you can select and create your notebook. So you need to select your warehouses, and it will create a notebook for you. And on that notebook, you can be like, okay, by writing down the codes, simply you can work it. So like you were working in the Python workspaces, you can now simply work it here with the Snowflake through this Python coding as well. But yeah, that is not the core of the Snowflake. SQL is the basic core, but this capability is also there. Great. If anybody is having any other questions, please do let me know about that. Don't forget to fill the feedback form. If you're having any specific feedback, maybe you can share it in the chat as well. So how do you like the session, or how do you find this session? Was it good, too fast, too slow, a lot of content? Maybe you can share your thoughts in the chat. And having any questions, please do let me know about it. Nice, nice. Okay, guys, in that case, that is it from my side. Maybe I'll then see you in some another meetup session.